press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, welcome back to social science class. Today finally we are on the verge of finishing the lesson social problems. The last and final topic, child trafficking, that is there. We'll try and complete it today, okay? So I know it was a very long lesson. It is a long lesson otherwise too. You had to stay for long to finish this lesson. I know it was too, you had to learn it, so you had to go a little slow about it. So finally today we'll wind it up with the last topic that's remaining for us, that's child trafficking. Now basically, child trafficking is those children who are below 18 years of age, if they are like maybe called for work, okay, and then they are called for work, okay, they are like they are pacified with giving them chocolates and taking those children to a certain place where promising the family that they will be given jobs and other things so that they can help the family. But what's happening? Then they transport the children somewhere else, okay, they use those children somewhere else, then they are kept in some homes where the family is thinking that the child is safe, and then they are sent here and there, children are like sold, okay, all forms of child trafficking that is there. Now basic intention is they try to use the child for their own needs, okay, sexually abuse the child, and because the child there is innocent, has no say, and they know it's not that easy for them to escape away, so they try to kidnap certain children or promise certain things that can never be fulfilled and take those little girls, some children there, take them to certain homes, keep them for a few days, then again sell them to another place, sexually abuse them, use them for all their needs. People are doing this, okay, and it's very, very bad on the person who is getting involved into it, to use children for their needs. Okay, now 27% of children are in forced labor, that is they at that age they shouldn't be working, but they are forced to work for others, okay. Some are in domestic helps, that is as maids in the house and other things. Then 46% of them are in sexual trade or subjected to sexual exploitation. So people make money out of using those children for their sexual needs, okay. So sexually children are exploited, their bodies are not given kind of respect, and people just say the child's body as a commodity, okay, child's body to be something where they can only derive pleasure. So that is very wrong on their part in these terms. So most of the children are victims of sexual exploitation, that is there, 46% of them, whereas 27% each in household work, that is as domestic help, or forced labor, anywhere to work, okay. So children are then after this, sometimes have you seen children begging here and there? That is one form of forced labor that is implied on them. That is, children are sent to beg and then they are asked to make money and somebody else uses it. Once the child doesn't do anything, it's sold out to someone else and somebody else, and children are exploited there. They don't have their own way of living, but they will have to live on others' terms everywhere, okay. So that is child trafficking, a basic definition. Now we have a lot of social problems that are there, social evils, okay, that is society has both good and bad in its own way, but we are more prone to all these problems that are there. When and how we are going to stop it, we must take a long time to decide and implement strict things. Our implementation is always the problem, and that is the basic need for anybody to set things right, okay. Our planning goes well, our discussions go well, but when it comes to executing it, when it comes to implementing certain things, we go wrong. We go wrong because right individual is not there to implement it. When the right person is there for the right thing, everything goes right, okay. So all people cannot be handling, even with jobs. If you take any profession, if you take being a teacher or being a doctor, being a lawyer, being anything, until and unless they understand their profession truly, you cannot become that person, okay. A teacher, if a teacher doesn't understand his or her profession, is having no passion for teaching, he or she cannot become a fruitful teacher. Likewise with a lawyer, with a doctor. If they are not understanding the medical field properly, then there is no point in they becoming doctor, because they will ruin somebody else's lives. Same way with the teachers, okay. Once you don't understand your profession, you don't understand your passion, you don't understand how you'll have to do your job, you are ruining lives. So many other professions in the society. But if we take the profession rightly, if we know our choices, if we know our interests, and if we stick on to that profession and do it fruitfully, then everything is a success for you and for the others who you have encountered. Here with laws and other things, we need the right person to put it in place and implement it. Okay. Now, this is a kind of unlawful business. It's against the law and it's kind of a business, because children are sold for money, for a huge sum of money, okay. Don't think less amount of money. For a huge sum of money, children are being sold from one place to another, then they are used there and then sold to another place. Poor child is totally exhausted by the time that they have gone to one of the other places. Back there, their families are thinking our child is very safe and is working and we will get money. How do they take those children? Do you know? They give the family some amount of money. Let's take 25,000, okay. First they give the family that much money, amount of 25,000, and then they'll tell, we'll take your child, now we'll ask the child to work, we'll give them a good job, we'll give the family money, and once your child starts earning, you will get back the money. But the child never comes back. The families are thinking that, oh, my child is working, he or she will come back one day, but the child never comes. The child may have died there, or the child is being used there, but the families don't understand. How are they emphasized on it? How are they or satisfied with it? They are satisfied with giving them 25,000 in the beginning. I give you an example of 25,000. It can be any amount of money. All right? Okay. Now, 70% of human trafficking is also happening. See, human trafficking is for all people. Child trafficking is for children, human trafficking is for all. Most of them victims are children and women over here. Now, the UNO says, United Nations organization says 32 billion US dollars is being for these illegal trades that are there. Now earlier we had this Devdasi system, isn't it? Girls being sold into the temples and the priests used to use them. See, it's gone in a different form now. You must understand this. Earlier they termed it to be Devdasis. Now we don't take the name of Devdasis, but the same thing is happening in the different name. That's all. That's all the difference. The same thing is happening in a different name, but the system of Devdasi is gone away. Because our world is growing now, you don't know at which corner who is doing what. So we have taken another name for it, and the same thing is continuing to happen. But lack of awareness is the problem. Okay? Lack of awareness here is the problem. Now, at that time, when we had child marriages, and when our Indian society was thinking in two lower terms, okay, Devdasi systems where children, girls especially, were given to the temples, and then the priests used to like sexually use them, abuse them. So we had a lot of sexual slavery that is there. That is, bully them for not doing the work, or use them and then say we're going to give you this work and all these things. Okay, so like that. So most of the things this happens is where the poor families participate in, because lack of poverty, they find a way to earn, and when something like this, an offer comes, they are willingly they take it, okay, because they need money and they become victims to it. Now most of the time it is always not a third person or a stranger comes. It is sometimes within the family, one of the relatives, a male member of the family comes and tries to convince the family, because he can convince the family easily. He comes and convinces the parents saying that I'll take your girl. The parents trust blindly because he is an immediate relative. So trusting family members sometimes can be difficult in these areas where poverty is a problem. Because people may be having connections, we don't know. So things like that happen, and these relatives, they convince the parents and then they take the girls, and then the girl never comes back. Okay. Now sometimes the boys also take girls into marriage, saying that it's love marriage and other things. So later, then once they get the girl married, once they get their girl, the parents don't say anything because she's married off. The parents don't have a say over there. Then the boy uses her and sells his wife. So human trafficking also happens there. The name of marriage and other things. Now, according to the Developmental Studies Department of Kannada University, they say the female heads, the Garwali, they say that immediate male relatives, okay, maybe your uncle, mother's brother, father's brother, immediate male relative, okay, they have engaged in these activities because they have connections, okay, within each other they have their connections and they engage in all these things. Convincing the family is very easy because we are an immediate relative. So trusting each other is also difficult at that time actually, but they do trust because it's an immediate family member, and that's how they trap these innocent girls. Okay, so they have connections with each other, and with that connections they know which family has how many children, okay, what is their economical condition. So those factors are the targets, where girls are there in the own family where they are economically backward. So those families are targeted, and then they try to convince them and take these girls. Then little girls sometimes are given chocolates, sweets, okay, toys, and then taken away. They are satisfied with all those things and then they are taken away. Now children around that age, they take it very easily because they are innocent in their own way. Then 4% of non-Devdasi women, they were also taken into prostitution and other things, okay. So prostitution is still going on in our country. It is still there. People fall trap into getting into prostitution, okay, like selling themselves in a way. They're selling themselves for money, okay. In terms of giving sexual pleasure to somebody else, they are in a way of getting money for their living. So this is happening in and around us. It's maybe not happening in our immediate neighborhood, but happening all over, somewhere one corner in the country, okay. Okay, now if you find certain things that are there, you can always complain against them, and it can be brought to the notice. If it is happening to children, bring to the notice of parents, your teachers, or the school wherever they are studying. So you can give a notice, and then the school authorities and parents can together take an action against what is there. Now we'll see some of the reasons that are there for child trafficking. First one can be poverty, okay. Then school dropouts, child marriages that happen, okay. Families are neglecting the children. Then child labor that is there, bonded labor. I want to understand bonded labor. That is, one family is bonded with one landlord for so many years, and then the child continues there to live with them, isn't it? That is why they have these connections, and then the families trust their landlords in other ways, and that is how children are used. Then it can be people migrating from one place to another, because when you migrate you don't know the people there. Then residences are shifting, overexposure of internet, because see, everything that you see on the internet is not good. Sometimes see, it is said you must draw your line, but sometimes what happens, I'll tell you, you see something and something pops out and you go and see, but it is not that it's your mistake or something like that, but it just come your way and you just encounter and watch it. But after you watch it, you must know what is to be taken and what is to be not taken. So social media everything runs around this in social media, okay, with Facebook, Instagram, all these are apps that waste a lot of time, okay, waste a lot of your time. You're going to understand it now, but in the coming years you'll understand how much of time it wastes, and it's not productive. What do you see? You see others' lives there, nothing else, okay, you see others' lives, others' comments, others' things, but you're not seeing your own. Okay, you may post your own for your satisfaction, but what do you get out of it? Nothing. Okay, absolutely nothing. So that's how. Then maybe discrimination that's happening, gender discrimination, and girls are taken away in that way. Lack of skills, children are not educated, and lack of skills that are there. Difficulties, financial difficulties, so many problems, so many reasons can be associated to these problems. Okay, basically you can take poverty, discrimination, labor, then child marriage. Okay, so connect to these reasons. Now, what happens when when children get into this kind of child trafficking is, one is they are exploited. When their bodies and minds are not fully developed, they are getting psychologically also exploited, physically also exploited. They don't have an overall development that is there. And when these organs and when the mind is not fully developed, it can lead them into getting to other behavioral problems and other things. So children can become affected with HIV or AIDS, okay, and any other sexually transmitted diseases that are there. So unwanted pregnancies can happen. They may have to go under abortion, okay. They have to have forced pregnancies. Maybe the girl is not mature enough by then to get pregnant or have a baby, but she is forced into it, and that takes away a lot of it makes the situation very difficult for the girl that time when she is not ready. It's a forced pregnancy that is there. Maybe sometimes it is through other problems also. She may be infected with sexually transmitted diseases, okay, so difficult problems. And then murders can happen. People may get into drug addictions, okay, drugs, what medicines you take are also drugs. So the lesser you eat, the better it is. The lesser medicines you take, the better it is, okay. So unwanted developments take place in the society. Certain things we don't concentrate on. What is the need of the hour we don't concentrate on, but we are doing everything else, which we are wasting a lot of money, is what I feel, than doing good for what is needed right now in the society. All right. Now there was an Immoral Human Trafficking Prevention Act of 1956 that told not to traffic children and women, okay. So anybody who is doing this, who is taking women and children, they are forced for or liable to punishment under IPC 370, okay, that's Indian Penal Code, and they would be imprisoned, that is, they would be put behind bars for 10 years, or they can also be imprisoned for lifetime, that is till their death. Imprisonment for lifetime or 10 years, whichever the court decides will be done. Those who get into human trafficking and child trafficking also. So what can be our remedies, or what can be our actions, course actions? Now first is we must have to stop child marriage. We will have to protect our girls. Now how to protect your girls? The society must think in that way, that every person and every girl must be protected whatever time of the day. And everybody must fight for what is right and stand against that. But we don't do that. We always take the sides which is wrong. We don't want to stand for what is right. Okay? Then we have We have to form child right clubs in all government aided private schools, okay, and schools of Karnataka. So that's like a dream, okay, but when it is going to come true, don't know, but it's like a dream that to form child rights club and other things. But see, even if we form them, my question is, even if we form them, will we really work for it? Or how far do we have knowledge of how we have to work with those clubs? The right person should be there to guide it. Only then these clubs will work, otherwise those clubs won't work. See, now your scouts and guides and bulbuls or whatever it is, they function because there is a certain system for that. The system should be applied in all these clubs also, and only then state of Karnataka, see it is told formation of clubs in Karnataka. So every school has it, then the entire school comes together and everything becomes strong in the state, okay. Then again, formation of child protection committees, that is teachers and the authorities will be involved in these committees where they help children, okay, child protection committees. Then in schools, government and private schools, aided government and private schools. Then organizing children Grama Sabha in all the villages of the state to listen to the problems, okay. All the villages of the state will have a children's Grama Sabha, that is people who will take care of these children, to listen to their problems and find certain solutions that are there. Child rights protection units in every taluk, gram panchayat, jilla panchayat, okay, taluk level and everything. Then they must also address the children at that time. They must give them awareness. They must take care of all children. Now, who will take care of these children? All matured individuals, adults, must take the responsibility of any child, not only their children. Any child walking on the street should be taken care of, because you don't know what's happening to that child. Child may be walking alone on the road. So take it, assuming it to be our child alone, our child, and then take it, because one day it can happen to our children also. So adults must take responsibility of all children walking in and around the road, okay, or in and around wherever we are. Teachers in the schools must take care of all children that are there, because they have a certain kind of authority. They are an authoritative figure that is there, and they can take certain actions against people who are there, who try to exploit the children in their schools. Okay, that is unacceptable to do. People who do it have been doing it for a long time, so for them it seems nothing. But for us or for anybody, it's like one child lost is also a loss. Okay, so it's like that. Then formation of women and children trafficking prevention committees. See, all these committees can be formed, but functioning of those committees is important. Committees, we can give so many names, this committee, this club, that club, this group and that group. Just like your WhatsApp groups, you see, all groups are formed. One week everybody messages. After that there is no message at all in it. Same way happens here, apply that here. We form it. Initially everybody is interested. After that everybody loses interest in it. How will everybody stay interested in it? If we do certain kind of things, if you get certain kind of recognition. How should you get recognition? You must work hard for it. If you don't work hard for it, you don't get recognition and you lose interest in it. So if you should not lose interest in it, you should have the right person to coordinate people there. When the right person coordinates things and everybody takes interest in it, when hard work is put on, you automatically get success. So your hard work never goes away. You remember this, your hard work will never go away. Just focus on yourself and do it, you will obviously get it. But you must avoid all the other distractions that are there and concentrate on one particular thing that you want. You will get it. So hard work never will take you back, and knowledge will never take you back anytime. Okay, so this is what I said. You can form these groups. Okay, there are committees. These committees are there. These they are there, but people who are functioning there, they have lost interest. They are least interested. It's happening there and here. Okay, but when we try to become responsible people, when we try to take certain actions against it, that's when we make things right. Otherwise, we don't make things right. Okay, Balika Sanghas in Anganwadis, that is girls between 11 to 18 years should be educated, and no gender discrimination, child marriages shouldn't happen. Okay, we should teach children about certain things of unsafe touch and safe touch. I have told you, go and look up the internet, what is safe touch and what is unsafe touch. Then how to keep personal hygiene, especially girls when they are beginning their menstrual cycle. Okay, personal hygiene, what they must use, how they must be made comfortable. Schools and colleges, schools should make them comfortable, because that's the age when they learn about these things. They're going to have a different change in their body. Okay, schools must be prepared for it, and children should be told how to deal with all these problems in school, or how to deal with problems if like child trafficking is done, where they should inform, whom they should inform. All this information should be laid down in the schools. Okay, that if you encounter child marriage, where you must contact, all that must be put up somewhere. Okay, in your textbook it is there, I'll show you where it is. Children should not be malnutritioned. Okay, some midday meal schemes are there. You must provide good food for the children. Okay, now in this midday meal also there is a gimmick that's going on. It's a business that's going on. People don't give sufficient nutrients to the child. Okay, that nutrients are not enough. Those things that they buy and put it in it is of a waste. The children, even they eat, it fills their stomach, but they don't get anything for their body. Okay, you need some strength, isn't it? You must process it to all the organs of the body. You don't get that strength. So that is also another kind of business that's happening. Some places truly people are working for it, that they are concerned about the children, growing children. Now growing children are very important because their body is growing. They need that much of strength at that time. All right. So these issues should be taught from the school level, and people must create awareness there, and then let students go and take to become better individuals. So schools have a major role to play. Schools and colleges have a major role to play in shaping the individual, they say, isn't it? Shaping the individual for the right thing and to stand for the right is always what I believe. You must have societies also like that. Neighborhoods should also have a panchayat like that, or something like, no, in villages it may be like that, but in cities you cannot expect to be like that. But still, each neighborhood can have a togetherness like that. Okay. So these are the problems. Now you have, I want you to read, okay, the first page of your textbook, child rights, that is there. Okay. Child rights, when it was given, then what are your rights, okay? What are your rights? After that, in the last page here, child marriage is given. I want you to read, okay? It's in Kannada. Please read it for yourself. It's in Kannada. Child rights, child marriage. How there is a ban on child marriage, where you can call 1098. That's what I told you, okay? Toll-free number. So read that. Two things I want you to read. The first page is given on child rights, and the last page is given on child marriage. Okay? Child marriage, prohibition of child marriage. So these are the two things you have to read. Okay, thank you very much, students, for listening. We shall come up with the next lesson in another lesson in the next class. Thank you.